The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater has been home to Spring Splash, a large campus-wide event, for several years. The event is essentially a large party near the end of the year for students. It has a history of bringing in increased revenue for local businesses, providing fun events for students, but also for occasionally becoming out of hand. During the 2016 festivities, that's exactly what happened. Many townsfolk complained about the uncontrolled student presence as well as the amount of garbage that was left behind. Despite the planned cleanup crew and support for the event from students and businesses, Spring Splash was canceled for 2017, and many roadblocks were put in place to limit students' activities when the day came. Because this was a large part of student culture on campus, some students refused to accept this cancellation and decided to go out and enjoy Spring Splash regardless. Billy Schmidt was one of those students, and spent the day grilling outside with a number of his friends until the weather went south.
University tried to put a stop to it, and that really put a damper on the day, along with the cold weather and the rain.
However, many students did not participate in the holiday. Many students stayed inside during the day, doing homework, or outside enjoying the parts of the day that they could. The weather ended up being a large factor in shutting down Spring Splash. While the day started off with nice weather, in the early afternoon the temperature dropped to the low to mid-40s and at times rained heavily. Even the most determined of students called it quits at this time, and many of the streets looked like this. Another limiting factor was that all of the residence halls were on lockdown. No one could get into any of the buildings without a school ID. The Hall RAs had 24-hour shifts throughout the weekend and were in charge of making sure no one got into the building who didn't live there. Mackenzie Knudsen, an RA in Tutt Hall, had several overnight shifts.
My job was to sit at the table for 3-hour shifts. I did a 1 to 7 a.m. shift.
While to students like Schmidt these precautions seemed unnecessary, Knudsen believed that the effort the school put into Spring Splash helped reduce issues.
I think getting the word out there to state that we were not having people who did not go to campus here was effective. The emails, people still got in, it still happened, but I think vandalism and the reasons why we didn't want people that didn't go to our campus come on campus that weekend was definitely minimized.
Even at nighttime, when the Whitewater streets are usually full of students walking around, there were only a few people. While many students felt that Spring Splash is something that should not be shut down, and the measures that the university took to contain it were extreme, all of the factors combined did quell the chaos that was expected. There is talk of potentially sponsoring the event for the 2018 school year based on how calm this year's was, but nothing is official as of yet. For Webhawk News, I am Dan Miller in Whitewater.